Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will explore the depths of The Call of the Wild by Jack London. The Call of the Wild, written by Jack London, was published in 1903. It is a gripping tale set during the Klondike Gold Rush, a time when sled dogs were in high demand. The story follows Buck, a domesticated dog who is thrust into the wild, where he must adapt to survive and ultimately heed the call of the wild within him. This novella explores themes of survival, the inherent instincts of animals, and the harsh realities of nature. Plot summary. Buck, a large and proud dog, had ruled over Judge Miller's estate in the warm Santa Clara Valley. Born to a life of comfort and ease, Buck ran freely over the expansive land, a respected and beloved companion. His father, Elmo, had been a mighty St. Bernard, and Buck, with his mix of St. Bernard and Scotch Shepherd, carried the dignity of his lineage. But this world of sun and leisure would soon be stripped away from him. The year was 1897, and the call of gold from the frozen north beckoned men into the Klondike. They needed strong dogs like Buck, to help them traverse the icy wilderness. Unbeknownst to Buck, Manuel, one of the estate's gardeners, had fallen into debt from gambling and sold him to strangers. One moment, Buck was strolling with Manuel, the next he was bound and choked by a rope. He fought back fiercely, but it was useless. The world as he knew it slipped away as he was loaded onto a train. Buck's journey took him northward, each stop revealing more cruelty and savagery than the last. Sold to a man in a red sweater, Buck learned quickly that brute force ruled this new world. The man beat him into submission with a club. Buck, despite his strength and pride, understood that in this wild, the man with the club was law. He watched as other dogs, some docile, some raging like he once had, passed through the same cruel hands, learning the same harsh lessons. Yet, as the days went on, the embers of rebellion still smoldered in his heart. Buck was sold to Francois and Perrault, two French-Canadian couriers. His introduction to their dog team marked the beginning of his transformation. He quickly learned the rules of the trail. Here, survival was a brutal teacher. Spitz, the lead dog of the team, was as cunning and cruel as the wilderness they trekked. From the start, Spitz saw Buck as a threat, and Buck, though biding his time, hated Spitz with a cold, quiet rage. Their rivalry simmered beneath the surface, each interaction sharpening the edge of their inevitable confrontation. Life on the trail was relentless. Buck endured snow, bitter cold, hunger, and exhaustion. Yet with every mile, his body hardened, his senses sharpened, and something primal stirred deep within him. The long-buried instincts of his ancestors whispered through his blood, urging him to embrace the wildness growing inside him. As the team pushed through frozen rivers and over treacherous passes, Buck adapted. He learned from the other dogs, from Dave's stoic diligence, from Sol Leck's quiet determination, and even from the thieves like Pike. He became clever, learning how to steal food and conserve energy, but always his eyes were on Spitz. The tension between Buck and Spitz finally erupted during a night of chaos. Starving huskies' skies descended upon their camp, tearing through their provisions. Amidst the frenzy, Buck and Spitz clashed, but the wild dogs scattered them before the fight could finish. But Buck knew the time would come soon. It happened not long after. The team was chasing a snowshoe rabbit, each dog lost in the thrill of the hunt, the primal joy of running wild and free. Buck overtook the pack, his muscles surging, his instincts alive, when Spitz, ever cunning, cut across the pack and intercepted the rabbit. In that moment, Buck launched himself at Spitz. They fought in the snow, teeth flashing, bodies slamming into one another. Spitz was a seasoned fighter, but Buck fought with a fiercer, deeper purpose. Buck feigned and dodged until, with a calculated strike, he broke Spitz's forelegs. The pack, ever loyal to strength, fell upon Spitz as Buck stood victorious. Buck had claimed the mantle of leadership. With Buck as the lead dog, the team surged forward, faster and stronger than before. Francois and Perrault marveled at his power, for he drove the team with relentless energy. But their time together came to an end when Buck and the others were sold to new owners, Hal, Charles, and Mercedes. These three, naive and inexperienced, were ill-prepared for the north. Under their mismanagement, the team suffered. Overloaded and poorly fed, the dogs grew weak, and the journey became a death march. Hal, stubborn and foolish, drove the team harder, heedless of their failing strength. As the trail became harsher, Buck's instincts warned him of the impending disaster. His senses told him the ice was too thin, the weight too heavy. When they reached John Thornton's camp, Buck refused to move further despite Hal's savage beatings. In a moment of defiance, Buck trusted the primal voice inside him. Thornton, witnessing this brutality, intervened, rescuing Buck from certain death. Hal and the others pressed on without them, and soon after, the ice gave way, swallowing them and their sled into the freezing river below. With John Thornton, Buck experienced a different kind of bond, one rooted in respect and love. Thornton cared for Buck, and in return, Buck showed fierce loyalty. Yet even as he basked in the warmth of this companionship, the call of the wild grew stronger. At night, Buck wandered into the forest, feeling the pull of the ancient, primal forces within him. He hunted, he ran with a wolf, and he reveled in the freedom of the wilderness. Tragedy struck when Buck returned from one of his forays into the wild to find Thornton and his camp destroyed by a group of Yeehat Indians. In a frenzy of rage and grief, Buck avenged Thornton, killing many of the Yeehats before they fled. With his last tie to humanity severed, Buck fully answered the call that had been growing inside him. He joined a wolf pack, running free under the stars, the leader of the wild. Yet each year, Buck would return to the place where Thornton died, remembering the man who had saved him and shown him kindness. Even as he embraced the wild, Buck's loyalty to Thornton never wavered, a lingering reminder of the bond they had shared. But no longer was he the domesticated dog from Judge Miller's estate. Buck had become the embodiment of the wild, powerful, and untamed. And so, in the heart of the Yukon, legends spread of a great, ghostly dog that led a pack of wolves, a beast that moved like the wind and was feared by all. Buck had finally come home to the wild. Looking for more great reads? Be sure to check out other books by Jack London. Find them in the description or on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in Jack London's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.